Hi guys, it's Granny Tana speaking. Welcome to this FS22 map tour video. In this video we'll have a look at the HORSCH AgroVation farm map. This map was made by Oxygen David and it is part of the HORSCH AgroVation DLC. This DLC comes out on Tuesday the 25th of July 2023, and it is part of the season pass, but you can also buy it separately. And in this pack we have 14 HORSCH machines from the manufacturer HORSCH and this map. And this map is made from an original farm in the Czech Republic. So it is totally different than the usual giants maps that are invented. So this actual village doesn't exist, but here this farm exists and it's owned by the manufacturer HORSCH. Yeah, and here they test their equipment in the long term, how it is good for the soil and for the yield and so. So it's not the short time test, but more experience in agriculture testing, so to say. Here we have a large building. And we had this map or a similar map already in FS17 as part of a contest and in FS19 as a mod made by Vertex Design, and this is made totally new by Oxygen David, and this time it's part of the DLC. And yeah, it's still the same farm, therefore it looks rather similar. But it's made totally new. So here this seems to be a huge office building and yeah, something like that. We don't need and use this building. And here we have a lot of sheds, and here we already see one of the bigger sheds, a drive-through shed. So it's one of the smaller sheds in total, but it gives big space for one machine and something that is attached. And here we already see one of our tractors. It's a Fendt 1050, so the biggest Fendt that we have in the game. And here we have one of the HORSCH machines, the Joker 8RT. This is a disc harrow. And later we have a look at all the equipment. So, and here we have a lot of garages. And if you think, why so many garages? Yeah, this is because this is a real farm and it is not made for FS22 or FS whatsoever, but it is made for real enterprise, and I guess they need so many garages for cars or such. And here we have a bigger shed. Yeah, with bigger gates and for our machinery. And here is an even bigger. I think it's a hall, it's not a shed. Maybe first we have a look at this thing at the left side, because this is something special. It's a buying silo for liquid fertilizer. So you can buy the liquid fertilizer here, fill up this silo and then use it for your liquid fertilizer sprayer. And here we have workshop trigger, and you can put your machines inside. And this is the sleeping trigger. So if you want to skip the night, you go into this hall and here you can sleep. And upstairs there is something like a private area with some sofas, and I think this will be the wardrobe trigger. And here you have some delicious sweets. And chess and another sofa. Oh, can we open this? Yes, we can. Oh, I haven't seen this before. Yeah, a room with an... I wanted to say old TV, but it seems to be an old computer. Yeah, you have a nice view. To your machines. Okay, so let's go down and explore the other halls, because there are a lot. This is just decorative here. And here we have another one. And something smaller. And there is something with glass. You can go inside and you could put smaller equipment inside. It is something like a showroom, I would say, with carpet. So usually you wouldn't use it for the equipment that you use, or maybe it is something like an event hall or so. But all those buildings are definitely for your equipment. Here, this one. And this one with doors at the side as well. And here you can see your equipment, part of it. And this is a drive-through shed, which I find very useful. And look what we get. This wonderful John Deere. Isn't it nice? I was tempted to say cute, but this machine isn't cute. It's huge. And here we have another of those HORSCH machines. This is the Tiger. Ah yeah, this is a cultivator. And yeah, in our equipment we have parts of the HORSCH pack, but not all the equipment from the HORSCH pack. Here we have this Weeder, the Cura, this huge weeder with 24 meters working width. And there is another shed. And I would call it a shed with drive-through function because it has doors at the back. So I consider this really useful. And here we have even more HORSCH equipment. This is the small cultivator that can be configured in 14 different ways. And this is the smaller version of it. And here we have the hoe, I think. Yeah, transformer. This is the hole. And here we have another shed, nearly the same as the other one, with a rather large trailer and, looky looky, a very nice class combine. The big one, the Lexion, with a large header, 13.8 meters. So the biggest one. And I read an article about this HORSCH AgroVation farm, and they wrote that they use the class combines for the harvest because they don't have their own harvesters, and they use it from class. So this is really realistic. And they like to use those kind of, is it track? I guess it could be track because it's called Terra track. Yeah, I knew how it's called in English. This kind of wheel, which is not a normal wheel. The John Deere, the 9 John Deere 9 series, it has the same kind of tracks. Or I should have asked Google Translate. Here we have another John Deere, an 8 series, and with a partner tank that can be used with several of the HORSCH machines, and you could put seed or fertilizer inside. And here we have the planter that can be used for planting corn or sunflowers. Yeah, in the version that you can use it for fertilizing as well. So you attach this, and then you attach the planter, and then you get an automatic pipe from the planter to the partner to the planter. And in reality, I think you have to put attach this pipe to your tractor, but in game it just like magic appears. I could show you. We could just try it out. Okay. Maybe we take this first. And then I think it will be on this side. I hope so. So now we attach this. Look! Magic! Wonderful. Okay, this is already the end of the sheds. And I didn't mean it to be already, because there are lots of sheds. Quite a lot. And you have such a lot of space. I really like it. Maybe you know that I play on Cord Farm from Oxygen David as well. And yeah, he likes to build real farms and real villages and so. And yeah, in the Cord Farm, everything is so narrow on the farm that I got panic attack and had to change the lot to build my own farm to not get any more panic attacks. And here, this is just the opposite. So much space. So it's really if the reality is very narrow and crowded, the map is very crowded too. And this is yeah, vast farm. Here we have another tractor, the 936, and this wonderful sowing machine, the Avatar, with 12-meter working width, direct seed, and fertilizing and seeding in one go. I think we have seen all the machines, so we don't need to go have an extra trip to the to the menu. Yeah, and here we have, I showed you this tractor already, and some weights and so. Maybe we just take this John Deere, get rid of the attachments, and then we drive around a little bit on this map. So, first we get rid of this. Zack! Like magic, the pipe disappears, and now we get rid of this. And maybe you should notice that here is a lot of free place. And as I heard in this, or I read in this article, they said when they bought this farm, they removed some of the buildings, and I think that's it. And this is wonderful for us because here we can build productions or a cow barn or whatsoever, and or more sheds if you need more sheds, but I think it's more for productions and so. And let's have a look at the PDA map. And you can already see we have at least one very large field. And there are several large fields. And yeah, the size of the field is really good, I would say. And even for people who like to work with huge fields, this is quite a nice field, I would say, the number 9. But the shape is more challenging. So if you are someone who likes squarish fields enlarged, then this is a little bit more difficult. And yeah, but it's a large field in Europe, and there are large fields in Europe. Definitely. And here here is our farm. And we own this small field, which is a grass field at the moment. In reality, there is or was a huge cow barn and some silos, bunker silos. I don't know why there are no silos and a cow barn on this map here. Maybe in reality they removed it already, because the images from Google Maps are a little bit older. And the article is from 2013, so even older. And maybe they don't have cows anymore. Now this is a grass field, but it's rather useful. It looks squarish, but the problem is the angle. It's not really 45 degrees. The helper could work with 45 degrees, but this is not 45 degrees. So the helper works a little bit off the shape, but it can manage it. And here we have another field that has a difficult angle for the helper. I tried it already, and yeah, the helper can't go in the direction of the edges. It's always a little bit off. But then when you have a smaller equipment and goes, it can work, and then you have to only work at the leftover edges. And with the bigger equipment, I had definitely some problems when I tried it. And here we have a large silo. This silo is as huge as a small town. We will have a look at this. And here is the dealership, and we have quite some selling stations. So the map is not poor on selling station, even if most of the map is just one very large field and two rather large fields. And even this field is rather large. So for my feeling, it's rather large. Yeah. So maybe we should have a look at our huge silo. And our fields have fences and gates, which I don't like so much, but what to do. This is the grass field here. And it looks very small on the map, but in reality I would say, oh, it's a decent sized field, bigger than most of the base game starting fields. And you can use it as a grass field. And here is an area where we could put small barns or small productions as well. So I would say we have plenty of place to put more buildings for our farm. And here we come to our huge silo. Here we get all this stuff. And there we put all this stuff. And here we can go outside. This is a selling station there. And it doesn't belong to our farm. Let's go to the road. I think here we can go to the road. Oh, they have an ugly swimming pool. Yeah, looks like. Okay. So this area is not like nice and bucolic. Not at all. I always call this building style not what we have here, but what we have there where we come from. I call it agricultural brutalism, which is brutalism is agriculture an architectural style, and that I don't like so much. And I call it agricultural brutalism because it looks as brutal as a brutalism, but for agricultural purposes. Here we see the village. Only the first two houses or so we can go, and after this is just decorative. But look, what a vast village he made just for decorative purposes on the outside of the border. So this is the border area where we can't go, and even then he made a really nice village. And this is what I really like on those maps from Oxygen David. All those buildings that he is building. I don't like every building, but this vast amount of different buildings, it is unimaginable for me. And yeah, I say this because I make maps myself, and I try to make as many buildings as possible myself for those maps. And so I know how much work it is. And when I look at this, and I know in the back of my mind, he also made the Court farms with all those many buildings. And before Carmston Farm and so on, and the Switch Future Farm. And I'm really, really impressed. All this work. Yeah, and does he work 24 hours a day? Or is he really fast at building buildings? I don't know. But what I know is I'm very impressed. So where is the main entrance to our farm, and now we go and have a look at the shop. Look, all those buildings here. And no base game building at all. It's really fantastic. I think I myself wouldn't make a real life farm, so a map that is from the reality, because mostly I find them difficult to play. Um, so in so far I wouldn't make my maps like Oxygen David, but he is such a role model for me for all this buildings, all this, and how he makes it. So in the end, as a map builder, you don't need to take this role model idea 100%, but you can pick a lot of ideas, and this is really something where I think, wow, I have so much to learn. Here we have the shop, and there in the back we have selling stations, and we can go behind the shop and through this area to our farm, which is a shortcut. And so I hope I can learn from those Oxygen David maps everything that I like in them. Those enormous amount of buildings. And look, here is a very good example to see the area outside the border of the map. And it's the same with the court farm. When I see this outside area, I'm so impressed. And here, so the state of being impressed is the same, but it's a totally different background that he made. And yeah, on Court Farm I could have a look how he made it, and wow, it's really, really good. And here, as it's a DLC, I can't have a look on this map in the Giants editor because it's encrypted, but as I have seen how he did it on Court Farm, I can rather see what he did. Oh, maybe I just go outside and then we fly a little bit. The flight mode. Here it is. Yes. So. And there, where those trees are, this is the border of the map. And behind, you see fields and such. And you see a village. And yeah, those fields, so the texture of the background area in a vast range is made, what I think, from satellite images. Of, yeah, maybe from Google Maps or so, or Google Earth. And it is not just flat and then the texture put onto it, but it is sculpted. You see this not in the far back, but in the medium back. Here it's rather flat, but not totally flat. And there, maybe we just speed a little bit in this area, because here you see there is a little hill. This is still the outside of the map area. And I guess this area is modeled from Google Earth as well. So the heights and the shape and everything 3D model, and then the texture is put from the image. Here you see real landscape, and there now you can see the the village a little bit better. So here in the front we have really detailed buildings, and there those buildings are not so detailed, which is very good because we wouldn't see the details because we can't go there. And to have those simplified models make it easier on your game device. So whether you play on PC or console and so, and to keep the slots down and to keep the performance up, it's important to have those simplified buildings in the background. And you see all those buildings, and they are put onto the images of the real life buildings from the satellite image. Really, really nice, and a lot of work. And then you see a lot of trees that really look like trees there. So it's not just a more or less flat or shaped sculpture with texture, but there you see the trees, they look as if it would be really forest there. That is because it is. And it doesn't have the details, the amount of details than when you stand directly in front of a tree, but those are more or less the same trees that you see on the map when you look from a distance, and but grouped together, lots of them. All those trees, and they don't count as trees. They are, in this distance, they are just decorative objects, but they are standing upright, and therefore it looks like real trees. And that makes this landscape look really realistic. Here, this has the scaling of the texture for sure is not as fine as with, for example, the buildings also, which is normal. It is not allowed to have this big scaling, and it's not needed because it's just a field that is hidden behind all those trees here, those trees. So usually you don't see it. I just went here for telling you how good he made this background area. And then in the final end, you see all those hills. Those are standing images, and I don't know, maybe he went there to the HORSCH AgroVation farm, because usually you don't get them through the internet. If I would make something that is those hills in the background, I would need to go there and take a very, very good camera and take images, and then to cut those images that the sky is transparent. And yeah, those are standing photo images. And if he would have those photo images closer by, you would see, oh, this is just an image and it looks very fake. But as it is very far away, it looks very realistic. And in the between area, he made all those efforts with sculpting and buildings and trees and a real life texture. And yeah, I'm very, very fangirling. Maybe as when you are not a mapper yourself, maybe you think, oh, now she got really crazy. But maybe it's interesting for you even if you are no mapper. Because I find it very interesting how much work and art goes into it. And here you see the whole picture, and Isn't it wonderful? It looks like as if we were in this area. So it's not only all these elements that I told you, but the correct lighting of everything, that it looks natural and yeah, just wonderful. And this is another thing that I would like to learn and improve on. I have to make it different because I have my fantasy areas, and I already make 3D model fantasy mountains in different heights and steepness and so on. So I can't use real life satellite images, but I think I can learn something from this. Here we have another little village and a little river and more buildings. Oh, yeah, that happens if you do a sightseeing while driving. And I think those background areas, they are a huge part of why those maps from Oxygen David look so lively, like you are really in this landscape. And let's see whether I missed some fields. Oh no, not at all. Because we own two more fields. Those small fields here, they are grass fields. But we have to go to the left and then all the way down to this area. Yeah, and I think that's what we should do. Here the road ends. It ends rather abrupt, so you don't really see the end. But if you have a look here, you see all those trees, and this shows you, okay, here this is the area of the map border. And here are some of those agricultural brutalist buildings. I don't know whether you can use this. And then here is an area where it is nearly bucolic. With a lake, or rather two lakes, and you can go in between. Then we have another one of those really huge buildings. And here are our two small fields. And if you see them, they are not so small. So I would consider them medium-sized, at least. It's only compared to this that they are small. I think you, at least some of you American guys who are not so much into square fields, you could enjoy this map because you have a lot of space, huge fields, huge machines, already two of the best John Deeres on the farm. And I found it really interesting. Here we have the BGA, obviously. I found it really a good idea to give us two Fendt tractors and two John Deere tractors, because yeah, the American players are happy with most of the American players are happy with the John Deere tractors, and most of the German players are happy with the Fendt tractors. And here, this is huge. And there is a selling station, or a really area with selling stations. So you find quite a lot of things. You even find the animal dealer here, and there is a train selling station. As far as I understand it, you can't rent and use the train, but you can sell to the train. And if we have a look here, we see there are really enough selling stations. Yeah, and when I see the landscape here, which is rather flat and will be as flat as this in reality, because it's a real life map, I think this is an area of the Czech Republic where they grow a lot of crops and where a lot of the food that is used in this area, or maybe even far away, is produced, because this is a really good area for doing agriculture on big fields. And there is a solar panel area. In reality, it looks bigger. So in reality, the whole area is full with solar panels. When you have a look at Google Earth or Google Maps, you can see it. And here we are on the main road. The huge field is to our left. There. Yeah, and wherever you look, you always see this wonderful background area, and this gives you such a vast feeling. So you don't have an enclosed feeling, but it's more like life goes on after this. No. So sad that the AI cars of FS22 can't, oh, do you call it overtake? If they are faster and they drive just and around you, and then they are gone. In FS23 they can do it. I hope in the next big FS we get this feature as well. I'm sure we'll get it. Because why not? So tell me, do you like this map? And is this an interesting map for American players or for players from other areas as well? And and what I would really like to know is not only whether you like it and whether it's interesting for you, but whether you are planning on playing on it. Here we have a fire brigade. This is nice, so we can use the fire brigade mod, and yeah. Maybe I should activate it when I play on this map. Yeah, are you planning on playing on this map? And maybe did you already play it on this map in the other versions? I would really like to know this. And I will play on it a rather short let's play, but on my German channel. Because on my English channel I'm just new into Court Farm and I want to concentrate on my Court Farm let's play. And to start another one at nearly at the same time, I think it would be too much and would take from the Court Farm energy. And therefore, yeah, that was my map tour on this map. Okay, I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you for watching and all the best. Till next time. Tschüss.